Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Nashville Superspeedway. It is Tuesday night, and that means only one thing. It is the Australian NASCAR eSeries here on the Australian NASCAR eSeries YouTube channel and Facebook. A big welcome to everybody here. I'm Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you up here in the booth tonight, and I'm joined by Mr. Nigel Stell. Nigel, how you going, mate?
I'm going well. Looking forward to this one here. We got second to last race, I think, before we head into the championship race. So everyone will be trying to get that elusive win tonight, Carl.
Absolutely. It's all about the playoffs at the moment, and those playoff drivers will be looking to lock themselves in through the next couple of races. And we can see that Ethan Winter currently has that lock on his name. Everybody else sitting in a position where they can get it. Matt Danson is the highest points player, with Dave Douglas and Josh Micklemore in the green zone at the moment. Riley Curtis, Stevie Dubb, Ryan Barber and Shane Bowen, they would dearly love to get a victory to secure their spot in that final few playoffs. So let's head to the grid and run through the starting order for tonight's race. And last week's winner is this week's pole position man, Ethan Winter, starting off the front row with Josh Micklemore to his outside. It's Dave Douglas and Jason Martin on row number 2, with Ryan Barber and Sam Smith on the third row tonight. Josh Houghton and Trent Gosley start on the fourth row. On row number 5 is Blaine Densley with Clayton Davies. And rounding out this part of the page, it's Riley Curtis and Andy Barber.
As we go to 13th, as we go up the page now, Shane Bowen, Cobalt Racing. 14th is Daniel Boyd, Vortex Sim Sports. Matt Danson, we're hoping to get that win tonight out of position 15 in the 30 machine. Tom Pritchard is back this week in the 91 for Southern Stars Esports, coming out of 16. Brian Blundell, out of Blundell Sim Racing, coming out of 17. Bailey Lesson from Vortex Sim Sport, coming out of 18. Looks like Vortex have brought a strong team here tonight. Jason Holdsworth in 19th tonight, representing Nitro Racing. His teammate in Nitro Racing's faced at Chassis Works Nitro car Brendan Burkhardt, coming out of 20th. Michael Campbell's 21st. Dane Snadden Diego's 22nd. And coming out of 23rd tonight was, I didn't get that last car.
We're about to go green. And we go green here for tonight's race. 126 laps to go here, and we are ready to go. And it is Ethan Winter getting away well on the low line. He's managed to keep himself up in the lead. Watch the drivers try and get themselves into that go track. You don't want to be running too many wide in for too many laps here at Nashville Superspeedway, but we have got 2, 3, 4 wide almost in the background as they turn in to 3 and 4 for the first time tonight under full race pace.
And she's a hot track out there too, 91 degrees Fahrenheit temperature out there. There's not much wind out there either. The conditions are clear and the humidity's sitting at 20%, so it's going to be a very slippery track out there. As Ethan Winter looks like that high line's going to be where he's going to be heading tonight. Dave Douglas, Josh Micklemore underneath him in second and third, and also be watching it at home. Always look out for the playoff drivers. They will be in purple all night tonight. So if you're looking out for your favourite driver, look there. The top, I think it was the top 4. The writing is different. I'm not too sure about that one. We'll get back to you on that one there as we hop on board with Jason Martin here.
So we get underway, and Jason Martin just sitting behind Josh Micklemore at the moment. You've got Winter, Douglas and Micklemore up in the top 3 playoff drivers, and then the next playoff driver is Ryan Barber, actually just down there. Matt Danson closing in, trying to work himself up the order very, very quickly too. So they are all getting themselves going and really trying to get themselves in. Of course, as I said, the purple drivers are the playoff drivers, and they are looking good at the moment. One thing to watch out for on this place, of course, it is concrete. It is a very long concrete track, which does throw things up a bit because it loves to chew up the tyres. So expect these drivers to struggle a little bit as this race goes on. If we get a nice long green stint here, it's really going to start chewing up that right front tyre. The rear tyres are going to start screaming, and these cars are going to become a real handful in about 20 or so laps.
And they get very loose, and we might even see some decide they're going to put a little bit of paintwork on the track there as well on the walls. So here we see Andy Barber here alongside, looks like Riley Curtis in the Nitro machine. We'll hop on board now with Shane Bowen in the 38 machine. Looking strong out there tonight is the in the top 5 at the moment. It's Sam Smith in the 20 car for Prime 100. He's showing some good pace early. He's been showing some great form the last couple of weeks, which is great to see from the Prime 100 car. And it looks like Bailey Lesson as well is going to make the move here on Riley Curtis.
Trying to get the run here on Riley, who's battling it out with Shane Bowen at the moment. Those two in the playoffs, and they are going to want to try and keep themselves out of trouble. They want to get through to the next round, of course. So keeping themselves in a good position is going to be key here, not getting themselves into too much trouble. They don't want to be getting themselves knocked out of this race for sure. Jason Martin putting pressure on his old teammate Josh Micklemore at the moment. These two know each other well, as we've said before. They have raced each other many, many times, often working together, but tonight, not the case. Jason Martin out there on his own against Josh Micklemore, part of the Nitro team, who have got a few cars up there. Dave Douglas right in front of him too. But it is Ethan Winter at the moment who is blasting away up the front, almost a 1 second lead ahead of Josh Micklemore at the moment. So Ethan Winter once again showing some excellent pace here, and well, he has absolutely been flying these last few races, really has been able to extend those leads and has been showing some great pace.
He also brings a lot of teammates in with him tonight too. Bailey Lesson, the other one is Daniel Boyd, as teammates as well. So the Vortex team is coming in pretty strong with the X Series. Ethan Winter putting a lot of work in behind the scenes to try to make sure he's in that final competitive. He's already in that final 4 race, the championship race at Auto Club. I think it's an Auto Club off the top of my head.
It is, yes.
Yep. So he's already putting the work in there. So it's great to see there's a bit of a team involved. Lots of teams involved with the series from the Nitro guys. Or we've also got the Altus Engineering team, Southern Stars Esports. There's a few others off the top of my head. Give them a shout out in the chat if I forgot them on. As I'm trying to eat my dinner at the same time.
Absolutely. Head out to the chat. Let us know how you're going on. Try and guess Nigel's dinner. Win a free hat if you can guess what Nigel's eating tonight for dinner. But make sure to hit the like and subscribe button too to catch all the racing here for the X Series coming up in the very near future. Dave Douglas up in P2 at the moment is starting to struggle a little bit. The rear of that car is getting a little bit wriggly. I've seen it a couple of times coming out of the corner. He's put his foot down. Back end just not stuck to the ground. The rear tyres are not working how they need to, not adhering to the track. So possibly a little bit of heat build up there. And slides it through the corner. Gets it done nicely in that Supra. But yeah, it's starting to look a little bit of a handful now. And I think some other people will be in a similar boat.
As we also see some of the faster cars out on track at the moment are Jason Martin and Sam Smith, with Ethan Winter as well. So those guys there, and Dane Snedden as well. He put a nice last lap in of 30.852. It's be interesting to see if those guys have used their tyres up a little bit early and they come back a little if the other guys come back to him like later on in the run. But here we got 2 wide here happening between Jason Martin and Dave Douglas. Once again, Sam Smith starting to get on the action. And also, too, we've got Ryan Barber that's just sitting behind there, then biding his time as well. He's showing some great pace in that 0.5 car.
Yeah, absolutely, and it would mean a great deal to get Ryan Barber through to the final 4. He will be delighted if he could do that. And look, we'd be delighted to see him in that Southern Stars car getting into the final spot of the playoffs. Jason Martin, though, makes Dave Douglas pay a little bit there as he gets down on the inside, stops him from getting down there. I think Josh Micklemore was just sneaking his way through on his teammate there. Possibly Dave just letting him past a little bit more politely than he would anybody else, but it left him open to Jason Martin. And yeah, Ryan Barber's doing a great job at the moment. He has got some really good pace underneath him, absolutely there, and keeping himself right in the hunt this season in this X Series. Has got some really good car control and definitely got some good speed underneath him. So just building up on that experience front, building up on the racecraft front, and just getting those few little bits of extra techniques learnt as he goes on. But he is absolutely a well-rounded driver now, and really is a tough competitor out there on track, and finds himself in the top 10 week in and week out.
And the playoff drivers would now probably understand that Stevie Williams, one of the playoff drivers, isn't racing with us tonight. So then, all of a sudden, then there is approximately, I think there's 3 cars that are pretty much got enough points. They have to have something drastically go wrong for them not to make it. So we've got 3 or 4 drivers now fighting for the one-stop spots. If since Stevie Williams is not here tonight, but he could come back next week and put on a show and take the victory and make it the final 4. So everything's still in question here at the moment here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Just jumping down to Andy Barber here, had a bit of a moment on the quad oval section. Just got a bit close to the grass, got on the apron, had it a little bit sideways, really pushing at the moment, trying to get his way past Shane Bowen up ahead of him and Clayton Davies. But Andy Barber at the moment in the number 5 Southern Star car. Some good pace at the moment, but just caught in a bit of an awkward place. It's very tricky to pass here at Nashville Superspeedway. It's one of those tracks that sort of gets a singular line, and if you can keep the car down low, it makes it almost impossible to pass. It's very, very tricky to get the car going up high and sort of sending it around the outside. You'll almost have to do the old slide job to get your way through, which I think Riley Curtis is just about to show us how it's done back there on Joshua Hooton, and works his way up into P12.
I'm just impressed by the speed that the 39 car of Ethan Winter got at the moment. He's up to 1.8 second lead over Josh Micklemore. I'll get my words out eventually here. He's showing some great pace out there. Last lap was a 31.261. He's still got some great showing he's in the top 3 of the best pace on the track at the moment. My words are everywhere tonight. I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll work through it, and I'll hopefully get better as the race goes on.
We've got Matt Danson flashing there, just having a moment there. He almost dropped out of the server. Still moving in the right direction, but we jumped back there to see what was happening to the number 30. And he had a bit of a slide actually coming back from a bit of a blink there, but looks like things have settled down now for that number 30 car. He could not afford to have a big accident and find himself out of this race, especially if somebody else takes a victory here tonight and gets himself ahead of Matt Danson and puts him in a bit of an unenviable position, because he wants to make sure he's absolutely secured in that spot, but going out tonight could hurt him. Meanwhile, Jason Martin's starting to fly. The 21 car is one of the faster cars out there at the moment, putting pressure on Josh Micklemore and seeing what he can do, seeing if he can work his way past Josh Micklemore. We saw them battling it out a little bit earlier on too, but Joshy and Jason at the moment fighting it out on track and just keeping it nice and civil at the moment, but that will surely change as the laps count down. Jason Martin doesn't have a championship to worry about. He is just out here for the victories and the glory, so expect him to take a few more chances than some of those playoff drivers around him.
some of the bigger movers so far we've had in the field is Shane Bowen. He's up 5 position. He's into 8th. We've got Brendan Burkhardt. He's up 8 spots. He's into 12th. Bailey Lesson. He's up 5 into 13th. Dane Snadden Diego. He's having a cracking run so far this race. He's up to 16th at the moment. The biggest loser so far is Joshua Hodgson in the 088 machine. He's down 10 spots now. He's back to 17th. I'm not sure. I think this might be his first start tonight for us, Josh. Am I right, Carl?
I believe so.
Yes.
I'm going to go yes. I'm going to agree with you because you pay the bills.
I could be wrong. If you're out there in the chat and can correct me, please do so. I just don't remember the name. He's part of the Vermilion stable, it looks like there.
And he is actually bringing it into the lane here. So coming into the lane early on here, 23 laps in. A little bit early maybe, but we have seen people running slightly counter strategies. It looked like he was struggling with the tyres. He might have just burnt them up a little bit too quick in that 088. But now he's going to slap on a new set of tyres, try and get back out there and try and get a better stint going for himself, as we are starting to catch up to some of the drivers down towards the back of the pack. Shane Newens in the 73 just going down a lap here. Moved himself just back a little bit, just not able to carry on that pace, but possibly doing some super saving at the moment. But Ethan Winter up front, he's charging away, 1.5 seconds the lead over Josh Micklemore. And, well, I think we might be seeing some of those pit stops happening relatively soon. A bit early, as you said, for Joshua Houghton. That could have been a bit of an issue for him, unfortunately, because it doesn't look like he's made it back out of the pit lane. So we've got 21 cars racing still on track, and it is this man, Ethan Winter, in the lead. 25 laps led, 25 laps down under on this race. 100 laps remaining.
As we also, just finished eating my chips. I've lost track of where the actual race is at the moment.
Okie dokie.
I've got no idea.
I'll get back to
I'll be honest.
So we have got Blaine Densley moving up here. Matt Danson trying to work his way back through the field, and we've got Brad Newman watching on in the audience. Has big move there. Blaine Densley moved himself ahead of Sam Smith here, getting himself ahead of that Prime 100 car. But yeah, Brad Newman, looking forward to seeing how Mr. Wikipedia himself has a comeback here. Mr. Matt Danson, of course, star of Wikipedia and, of course, Reddit. Everybody's favourite person out on track. He has a massive fan club, as we know, Mr. Matty Danson. And they will be cheering him on tonight, I am sure. But this race for P6 is definitely a good one. Blaine Densley coming back now, up 3 positions. Nice and slow start to this race, just gently moving in and gently getting those tyres up to temperature and getting them in the working conditions. And now it's starting to pay off. Has got some really good pace at the moment, working his way up through the field. Another car that's doing a similar thing is Riley Curtis down in 11th position, working his way up through the pack now, getting himself in a few positions and trying to get himself up a few spots into a good spot. Andy Barber now battling it out with Shane Bowen. Shane Bowen on the high side, Andy Barber on the inside here as they cut across the quad ovally section here and come back down towards turn number 1. And it is Andy Barber who keeps that position, gets himself in 8th spot, battling it with Shane Bowen, who's another one of those drivers that's had some bad luck recently as he gives the wall a bit of a graze there, but has had a bit of bad luck recently. He's going to be hoping that things pay off a little bit better in these next few races as the playoffs here at the X Series.
And there's one thing also for Mr. Wikipedia himself has to remember is that he has been struggling getting down pit road lately. I remember watching Coke 600. I think he struggled in that race as well, and I think he did have a penalty last week, I think, for speeding on pit road. So we might need to add that to the Wikipedia as well, that struggling on pit road at the moment in 2025 for Mr. Matt Danson, Mr. Wikipedia. So we'll find out later if he can actually make it down pit road safely and securely and get out the other side. As we see Ethan Winter now, he's out to a 1.5 second lead. Jason Martin and Josh Micklemore still only 2/10 behind in a little battle there for second and third at the moment. So those guys there looks like they're holding their tyres. One thing we should do though is we'll have a bit of an on-board for us to go for a lap around the Nashville Superspeedway with Ethan Winter, our leader. And let's just see how he's just travelling at the moment with tyre wear, 31 laps into this run. And as you can see, for those watching out at home that are not really up with oval racing, it's not just turning left, that wheel, he will have to be working that wheel, and I think he may be a little tight there at the moment, Ethan. Going into 1 and 2, as goes down the back straight away, and then he's back into 3 here as he tries to keep that wheel as straight as possible. He looks like he's putting a bit of, looks like he is getting a little bit tight there in the 39 machine at the moment, so we'll see how that one keeps panning out. But there's a lap around Nashville Superspeedway with our leader at the moment, and the 39 Ethan Winter.
Yeah, and he's working he's working everything there, really absolutely flying and keeping that car up to full revs, keeping it way up to speed. Brian Blundell has brought it into the lane in the 86, and I think he might be bringing it back out on track now. So first of the pit stops, and this is going to be interesting to see the time difference on these fresh tyres. Brian Blundell is going to be much faster, I'd say, than anybody else on track, but he's got a long way to go, 92 laps to go in this race, and he's going to need to do a couple stops to get to the end from here. Everybody else is going to be trying their best to extend. I'm thinking about 40 odd laps for 40 to 50 odd laps for fuel possibly, but it's going to be tyres as well, just keeping those tyres alive, trying not to lose too much time and grip on those things. And as you said before, Nigel, it's going to be important to get in and off of pit lane at the best speed possible. It's going to be crucial not to make those mistakes entering the pit lane and find yourself back in this race. As we see Sam Smith dropping back behind Shane Bowen now. Sam Smith just falling down the order a little bit in that Prime 100 car. Just maybe spent a little bit too much tyre in the opening salvo here tonight, and is now starting to pay the price just that tiny little bit. Not losing too much speed, but he is losing a couple of positions.
And I think Brian Blundell might have got a penalty on pit road then too for speeding. So he is serving that time at the moment. As we hopping on board now with Shane Bowen. Started 13th, he's currently up to 8. He's looking quite good. Sam Smith we see on our screen here at the moment. He's coming along nicely. I've completely lost track once again of even where I am because I've got 3 screens going. I need to watch the actual broadcast one, not everything else. So, like I said, I am all over the shop.
Nigel fixated by his chips at the moment. That's the problem. He's like a seagull. So we have got the race going on, and Sam Smith just dropping down a couple of positions here. It's just that struggling a little bit, but still keeping up some okay pace. He's got a bit of a gap between himself and Riley Curtis, who is coming along very quickly. Riley's had some good speed the last few laps. He's definitely been looking after those tyres for this long run stint. And we've got to say, Ethan Winter's done a stellar job. He was the fastest car at the start of the race. He did have that fresh air ahead of him, which does make a big difference. Don't use much, and you can see there Sam Smith just sliding that car through the corner. What did I say about give it about 20 odd laps, and those tyres will be screaming in agony, and the car will be slipping and sliding around, and that's exactly what's happening to the number 20 at the moment as Riley Curtis gets down the inside. Shane Newens into the lane. But you can see there, Sam Smith dropping down into 11th. Riley Curtis moving up into 10th.
As we also, after this, we complete this race here at Nashville Superspeedway. They stay in the Nashville area for next week's race. They head to Nashville Fairgrounds for the final of the round of 8, where we'll decide our championship 4. Before in a fortnight's time, we'll head to Auto Club for the championship race, which will be live here on the Australian NASCAR eSeries Facebook and YouTube channels. As we see a little battle here between Daniel Boyd and currently in 15th. He's got down a place. He's battling a very, very fast Dane Snadden at the moment. He's showing some great pace in that. What number was he? In the 07 car at the moment. 32.2 last lap for Dane Snadden. 31.9 last lap. Matt Danson, he's just made his way up there now. He's actually dropping. He's up to 16th at the moment. Really struggling tonight with that.
Look at the rear of that car. Look at the rear of the number 30, because there is a bit of a dent in the back of that thing. He has taken a bit of a whack up the jacksie, and that is not helping that car at the moment. It is not settled, and I'd say it's got a lot of damage there, and it's going to be affecting the rear aero, which it's not a huge amount on these cars, but when you've got rear tyre sensitive circuits like this, it makes it even worse. So really struggling at the moment, Danson, and really not got any pace for this time being. Hopefully he'll be able to get some repairs in the lane done, get himself back out on track and maybe back up to speed. But at the moment, he's actually he is the slowest car out there at this moment. Sort of every lap he's just really hemorrhaging time, battling it out with Michael Campbell at the moment. Campbell just getting his way past Danson, moving himself up a position. On the inside is Brian Blundell now on those fresher tyres too, and that's
the thing too, though, that if Josh Micklemore and Ryan Barber, especially those playoff drivers, start to realise that Danson is starting to struggle a little bit with that bit of damage, they know that it's time to capitalise their playoff hopes and hopefully get into that top four and hopefully eliminate Matt Danson. But he does have a big bank of points behind him, so that's the only thing going in Danson's favour at the moment. As we get back on screen, as all the cars start to spread out now. That's one thing about the Xfinity cars, I say every week, that is they do spread out over time, which makes the racing less yellow flags. So if we look at the playoff picture there at the moment, Matt Danson does have a fairly hefty points lead at the moment, with Ethan Winter already through, Dave Douglas, Josh Micklemore, Riley Curtis. Now Stevie Williams isn't with us tonight, Ryan Barber and Shane Bowen, so they're still in the playoff picture. We'll see how this race plans out over the next 100 laps.
So I've just gone back and had a bit of a look-see to work out what happened to Matt Danson. It actually happened before the start of the race, so coming out of the pit lane. Looked like Matt had a bit of a blink issue, and it sort of just threw out the car behind, which was Brian Blundell, who sort of went into the back of him, and they had contact even before they got to the green flag. So Matt Danson's been carrying that damage all race long, and it's definitely affecting that number 30. So really unfortunate for now Matt Danson, as Trent Gosley works his way past and moves himself up into 17th position. So that would explain why he's really struggling for pace out there tonight and just not able to get that car switched on. So it shouldn't be too much longer until we start seeing some pit stops for fuel, and that's going to be a crucial one of where they come in and how long that they take. You know, what's the strategy going to be from here? We think it's about 55 laps of fuel for the tank, but we'll find out very shortly, because we've done 47 laps. So if we start seeing a glut of cars pulling into the lane now and getting their services done, we know that the old fuel gauge is starting to get a little bit lonely out there. It's getting a little bit empty, and they are just needing to get in for a splash and dash, and they can do it here with one more stop. So it's going to be a 2-stop race by the looks of things, and we'll see how this one unfolds as the laps count down here at Nashville Superspeedway. It is round 2 of race 2 of the X Series playoffs. The final 4 will be locked, sort of decided next week, but it will help you an enormous amount if you can get a victory. Ethan Winter, though, is one of those drivers that wants to take another victory for his playoff run and make sure that nobody else is locked in, make sure everybody else is sweating for that final race at Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, Josh Micklemore was faster that last lap than Ethan Winter. He's starting to catch that car in front. 1.45 seconds the gap between the first and second car now. I wouldn't rule out Josh Micklemore here just yet. Ethan just was a little bit quicker that last lap, about a tenth quicker. He's starting to that car, the 31 car, starting to come to him now over time. Andy Barber as well. He's up in the 7th at the moment. He's showing some great form as well. Riley Curtis, he's in 10th, another playoff driver. He's up in the top 10 at the moment. And it looks like we've got cars now heading to pit road as Sam Smith now enters pit road in the 20th.
Yeah, he's decided to pull the trigger. Not surprising, because we saw Sam Smith struggling a bit with the tyres and falling down the order a little bit. So he's going to come in for those fresh boots now. Lap 50, we've got 76 remaining. So he'll be able to sort of make it home on one more stop after this one, of course. But everybody else wants to extend as much as possible, because it's a big thing on the ovals, and we found that in racing recently is the overcut is so much stronger than the undercut. You want to have those tyres towards the end of the stint. You want to have the freshest tyres possible, because you get yourself up into those decent positions. Of course, it's a little bit trickier to pass here, so you could maybe take advantage of a little bit of the undercut, but you don't want to have a big difference on tyres, because if you've got more than 3 or 4 laps difference, then you're going to find the car behind you just sailing past with absolute ease. So you've got to have a little bit of defensive measure put in so you can make it to the end from this stint and keep yourself in that position. And well, as you said, Josh Mickmore is closing that gap. He is the fastest car on track at the moment, the only car in the 31s. So he is absolutely flying. And the gap now down to 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. At the moment, the only other car in the 31s at the moment is Clayton Davis in 9th. He's done a 31.990 last lap. I'm surprised there hasn't been more cars come down pit road that didn't. I thought Sam Smith's pit stop might have triggered a few more to come down pit road. But obviously they're all trying to stay out to see if they can get this on a one-stop race. And as the field starts to spread out like this as well, it does eliminate the cautions as well. So those guys will be thinking one-stop race. We can just go as long as we possibly can. I guaranteed there'll be some fuel saving starting to happen out there. The 05 car, or the 5 car, sorry, of Andy Barber is getting very, very loose out there at the moment.
Got Clayton Davies at the moment all over the back of Shane Bowen and trying to move himself up on that Cobalt Racing entry. He's putting him under pressure, got that inside position now, and that should help him. He just needs to get that slide job up in front of Shane, get himself secured in that spot. Shane's going to try and get the advantage off the corner, try and get the momentum out of there. Just can't quite make it work. Those tyres are dropping off a bit too much. He's managed to keep himself in with a fight here, in with a shout. But now Davies slides up in front of him, blocks the door and closes off that position. A beautiful move there from Clayton Davies up into P8.
And as you can see, the fresh tyres at the moment with Sam Smith at the moment, he's doing a 30.5 last lap. So he's starting to show everybody what these new tyres can do around here. It's about 1.5 seconds quicker.
Yeah, it won't be long until he is knocking on the doors of the leaders with the undercut, as we said. But then he's got to take those tyres a long, long way and get himself to the end of the race. And that might be trickier and easier said than done. As those drivers start to come into the lane and come out on fresh tyres, they will then have the advantage and sail their way past Sam Smith. So I think a lot of drivers just thinking about what they need to do here. If they could make it on one stint, they would absolutely be trying their best. I'm not hearing too much saving at the moment, not hearing too much clutch work, as we see Dansley just giving the wall a little nibble there, and just in front of him, a bigger nibble for Ryan Barber, who gives the wall a big old smack on that right-hand side. Doesn't damage to the Southern Stars car, just a big slight work missing on that side. But the caution flag is out. And it is for Dane Snadden. And he has had a big moment going in to turn number 1. Back end will step out on the 07. And the rear tyres just giving up the ghost. He tries to save it. Unfortunately, it all goes pear-shaped as it spits him up into the wall. Heavy damage to the front end of the 07 here. And that could be night over and done with for Dane Snadden, who was setting some really good lap times. But yeah, this snap here, he tries to save it, puts a bit too much counter steer in there. It spits him up into the wall. And that's going to be heavy damage to the cooling system of that Camaro. This is exactly what nobody wanted, I think, if they were fuel saving, because I don't think they can make it to the end from here. But it's going to really make things interesting. We've got 68 laps remaining. We've done 58 laps here. Ethan Winter, everybody into the lane, of course. They're all going to come in for a fresh set of boots because, well, it would be a very bad idea to stay out there on old tyres, I think.
Only thing I noticed then, now I could be wrong, my timing screen is telling me that the Ethan Winter got some damage just after the yellow flag came out. Did he hit a wall or something like of that? I could be wrong. He could have had nothing could have happened. It just could be something on my timing screen. But that could be something to look for later in the race too, to see if he's got any damage on that 39 car that will slow him down.
He doesn't have any damage, but he did make a mistake. So the back end stepped out on him, and he actually cut the grass over the little bit of the quad oval that sits there.
Right, yeah. That's okay.
That caution came out at the perfect time for Ethan Winter. So I think he was pretty glad to see that, because those rear tyres were looking pretty moth-eaten.
Yeah, well, I just saw on my screen there was a 1X for Ethan Winter, which was something that was kind of like, wow, he's been very, very good. If he made the slightest little mistake once the yellow came out, car got a little bit loose as he was slowing down. Could have been anything, but luckily for the 39, it was just a little bit of a trip through the grass. Now, something to keep an eye on too, that Matt Danson just must have fixed all of his damage on his car too. He had a 42-second pit stop there as well. Dane Snadden, he had 59-second pit stop to get a little bit more.
And
there we go, through the grass.
And it's not that exciting when you look back at it. It's one of those moments. But if that had happened and it remained green, Josh Micklemore would have been right on him and getting his way past, I think. So that sort of happened at the right time for Ethan Winter there, for sure. But now it's put everybody in the same boat. They are all on fresh tyres. They are all on the same fuel strategy once again, with 66 laps remaining. Oh, it's got to be tantalisingly close to making it to the end here on this 100%. Tank of gas. You got to say, I imagine there's going to be quite a few drivers just going into fuel conservation mode early doors here, so they can make it to the flag.
And I guarantee you, Josh Micklemore and Dave Douglas and Jason Martin would have learnt from the last, from the start of the race, where Ethan just got out to that lead and he kept that lead. So I'd imagine Josh, Dave, Jason Martin, Andy Barber, Blaine Densley, Ryan Barber, they all won't want that happening again, as the green flag is in the Geico restart zone, and we're racing again at Nashville Superspeedway.
The one person that really didn't help out was Sam Smith. He's now on some tyres that has done about 10 laps in this race, and he is going to be miserable in this stint, unfortunately, for Sam Smith. So that is going to be a painful one. But up the front, we are away once again. Ethan Winter in the lead, and now everybody is trying to catch up.
Someone was spinning at the back there. Hopefully they keep it.
It was Newens. It was Shane Newens lost it. He's managed to keep it going in the right direction. Does not bring out the caution, but has managed to get it back out on track and up into the road. But that was a scary moment for him on those cold tyres, just getting caught out as Blaine Densley starts to drop a couple of positions here. Clayton Davis moving his way up. And we saw Blaine just taking it easy last stint as well. And I think we're going to see that again. A few drivers just taking it nice and easy in the opening stages of this stint, not wishing to push too hard and getting themselves to the end of this race on some tyres that will hopefully get them up into a decent position.
Well, the drivers can make it to the end now on fuel, so this will be a tyre race. Who can save the tyres the best? So those ones at the back there that are just chilling out, they can still have a factor in the race. So we're talking probably the top, well, whoever's in the lead lap can still win this race, as we go 2 to 3 wide there with between Ryan Barber, looks like Clayton Davis there, the 27 of Blaine Densley, and a little battle there as well. Brendan Burkhardt, Riley Curtis is involved.
Yeah, we saw them almost 3 wide back there in the mid-pack, and they are starting to race each other hard. A driver on the move now is Matt Danson after getting those repairs done. The number 30 is starting to come alive a little bit here. and work its way through the pack. So that caution really helping out Matt Danson. As you see, Riley Curtis running down the inside now of Shane Bowen, trying to get the move done here in the number 093. Riley Curtis sliding through the corner, trying to get that thing tightened up, trying to get a better exit here. Bowen should get the run off the corner, will slide himself in front. He's going to get a bit of a run here on Brendan Burkhart as well, who himself gets a run on Blaine Densley. They are all chopping and changing here in the mid-pack, really racing hard.
This could be detrimental to later on in the run as well, that their tyres will have fallen off there. Matt Danson's trying to make a move. Shane Bowen there, he's on the move as well. He's up to into the top 10 now as he makes the move. Blaine Densley's on the outside there as we go through. We got 3 wide. Oh!
Well, Dave Douglas there has saved the car. He had a little bit of contact between himself and Ryan Barber, I think it was, just going into the corner, and that sent him into a sideways spiral. Good job from Dave for saving that one, but those tyres will be, well, they're not going to be happy about that slide. They are going to be struggling now to the end of this race. Dave would sorely love to see a caution come out to get him back in this race, I'm sure.
100%. That was scary, but well done by all drivers. They kept the wheels straight. They kept them off the walls, off of each other, and we stayed green.
Yeah, it's so easy to get a collection there as we see Danson getting a run on Riley Curtis, getting down the inside, moves himself into position, keeps himself close to Riley's door, gets himself underneath, gets the slide job done, slides up in front, and you can see right behind Trent Gosley trying to do the same thing, getting himself up into position and getting himself into a spot where he can start racing with these guys too. And Trent Gosley coming off some good results recently. He is eager for it, and he is really pushing Riley.
And that's the thing, he's been struggling a bit this season, Trent Gosley. He's been after some great results the last couple of weeks of starting to really turn that team around. As we also see just above that, we got Clayton Davis there and Matt Danson. Matt Danson's got the pass done on the inside on the 50. I know he wants it back now. And then now Danson's through them. He's got a train of 5 cars in front of him now that he has to now get through. But Danson would be hoping not to have used too much of his tyres up, trying to get those couple positions there to get himself back into the top 8. He's starting to realise now. He would have looked at the playoff picture through the yellow flag and realised, wow, it's go time now. We need to get this car fixed and we need to head to the front. As you can tell there at the moment, if he stayed where he was, he would have been in danger of missing the cut if he finished below the 15th position. If he didn't get that, if it stayed green as we go. Oh! Trent Gosley.
Trent Gosley bringing out all the aggression tonight. Very nicely done. They are racing each other hard out there. I was just watching on board with Ethan Winter and did hear him dipping the clutch into the corners. So he's in a little bit of fuel conservation mode at the moment, but it's not hurting him because he's built up a 1.8 second gap up the front. As we see now Riley Curtis down the inside of Clayton Davies. These two battling it out on track now. Very similar painted cars, actually. The yellow, the purple, the black. So yeah, some very similar paints in those schemes, but slightly different uses of it. Big move there. They get themselves through. Mick Campbell looking to make his way up too, side by side with Blaine Densley just behind them too. So we are seeing some really good racing. And Sam Smith working his way up nicely too. And remember, Sam has done about 10 more laps on these tyres than everybody else. So he's doing a great job of keeping the pace at the moment, keeping himself in a good position for this race.
A little bit of a battle here between Sam Smith. Who else is in that group? Michael Campbell, Blaine Densley. And then Riley Curtis is on top of them as well. This is going to be a battle of the tyres. As this run gets on, you'll see the drivers who have saved their tyres a little bit more. Sam Smith goes to that outside. The pace tonight in the 21 car of Jason Martin's the one that's surprising me. up there at the moment in third position. He's got Andy Barber just behind him as well. He's been showing some great form in that purple car. In the No Fear 21, I should say, with Foxes on it. Or the No Fear's gone. Or not, yep, the No Fear's still there.
The Fremantle Dockers, I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to Australian rules, so I'm just going to hope that's right. I think he's a fan of that thing. I think that's the team that he goes for, hence the purple. But that's using up all my knowledge there of Australian football.
Well, I'll get it out now. Proud Western Australian. I remember I said earlier in the season that he was. Remember there was a time when I said he was a South Australian, and I got corrected quite aggressively in the YouTube chat. I spoke to Jason Martin about it, and he had a bit of a laugh. So we both laughed it off. And here he is at the moment in the top three at the moment is Brendan Burkhardt. He's currently in 7th. He was started in position 20th tonight. He's hoping to make that move to get himself up into the. Where is he? Shane Bowen. Where? I'll get there in a minute. 7th. That's the one.
And it is American versus Australian right now. The boy from Indiana, Brendan Burkhardt, is battling it out with Shane Bowen, and he is trying to get this run. As you see Shane Bowen now getting the run on Ryan Barber, trying to get down the inside, and this is going to be crucial. He needs to try and finish ahead of as many playoff drivers as he can to help him out. Getting so close to the doors there as they come through. And they head for another lap done here at Nashville, but the racing is still as hot as anything, almost as hot as the track. 33.9 degrees Celsius out there, air temperature of 30.4 degrees. So it is pretty warm out there still, and the concrete will be trying to chew up as much as possible. But you can see here the battle going on, and Brendan Burkhardt just thinking, oh, I could slip it in the middle here. We could go 3 wide. That's always going to work out here at Nashville Superspeedway.
And then just behind these guys battling at the moment is the 30 of Matt Danson. He's in 8th here at the moment. He's going to make this 2x2.
And you have to wonder just how much pace Danson's got now that he's got a repaired car. But it's a shame we didn't see that car in full working conditions earlier, because definitely has some pace in that Altus Engineering car. Definitely has some good pace, but a bit of early damage saw him way down the order and way off the pace as well. After we had our first caution a few laps ago, he's come in, got some repairs done, and is now starting to set some very good pace on track. But the fastest car at the moment on track is Ethan Winter, to very little surprise. 2.5 seconds the lead. Up ahead at the moment for the 39, and Ethan Winter is flying.
100% he has. He's led every lap so far in the Conti Vortex car there at the moment. He is shown a great stellar form. I think he's on 5 to 6 pole positions for the year as well in the 39. He's starting to get not the respect. I shouldn't use the word getting the respect, but he's a driver they are the wrong words. They're complete wrong words.
He's getting the results that we were expecting from him. There we go.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Luckily, I speak fluent vague.
Sorry, team out there, if you're listening, I'm having a shocker.
No, but it has been a thing. It has been improving and really doing a good job this season, Ethan Winter. You know, he was struggling a little bit in the early stages with sort of traffic management, and especially when we saw him sort of falling down the pack a little bit, he would just struggle that tiny little bit. But then he worked and got that working for him, and now he is such a well-rounded driver. He can use all of that pace to its full potential and keep himself in the lead. And if he does drop back a couple of positions, he can work his way back up there too.
And that's one thing that the Australian NASCAR eSeries is actually built on, is the official system. So you can practice during the week. With the X Series, you get 7 days of practice within the officials with the races and practice servers, so you can practice whenever you want. And those drivers there that do put the practice in and do the races, and the setup shops, the setups that they produce and that they're available to buy, they do work in this series because the servers are identical than the officials. So for drivers like Ethan, it's what you can do with this series and with your own driver development is that you can, if I'm racing the officials all week, you can come and race with us on a Tuesday night, and you're going to be fairly competitive if you're fairly competitive in those officials. Now with the truck series next season, we're going to delay that by 1 week, so those drivers will have the full week of officials before they jump into the truck series race, which will hopefully help the development of the truck series drivers as well.
Absolutely. Look, practice makes perfect, and it really does help build up the confidence, build up the skill level, and build up your speed on these tracks, and gets you moving in the right direction. But if you would like to build us some confidence, hit that subscribe and like button. Get on that and join us for more racing here in the future. Of course, we've got the X Series, the trucks, and of course the A&E on the weekends on Sunday. So plenty of action to come this week, as well as we're seeing the action out on track still going for it as the 27 of Blaine Densley goes down the inside of Trent Gosley here, trying to make that move down the inside of the 04. Might be able to get it done, just needs to just get there ahead of the MFR car and get himself into that position where he can just slide up in front of them to close that door. But Gosley doing a good job of keeping that car in the right position at the moment, keeping Blaine Densley down low and trying to burn those tyres a little bit, trying to stop him getting that pass for 9th position and seeing if he can keep himself locked inside the top 10. Densley now gets the run down the inside. He's got that gap. He's just got to slide it up now. Has the confidence, slides it up in front of Gosley and makes the move up into P9. A very well thought out attack there from Blaine Densley. Very nicely done indeed.
And there's a battle going on here at the moment between Matt Danson and a bit down there, Riley Curtis and Daniel Boyd. And then we got Brendan Burkhardt here on the back of the Ryan Barber in front of us as well. Oh man, I should be sacked after tonight's performance in the booth.
Unfortunately, I don't have the power to fire, you got to do it yourself. So.
I'm thinking I might. Oh,
Barber there losing some momentum there, and that's going to cost him some time. Look, the fence here, you can give it a little scrape, you can give it a little tap. It's a bit like many tracks that we talk about, like Darlington, like Monaco, where if you give that wall a little nudge, a little kiss, you can get yourself up to speed. But if you kiss it a little bit too hard, you're going to lose momentum and you're going to drop like a stone. And right now, that's what happened to Ryan Barber. He managed to repair it and get himself back up there, but again, gives that wall a big lick, and that's going to cost him that little bit. Burkhardt trying to get the slide round. He's going to try and get the momentum off the corner now, see if he can get that pass done. Meanwhile, Matty Danson's sitting back here and thinking, this looks juicy, this looks tasty. I might be able to get myself a few extra positions here if I can get this car absolutely lined up off the corner and get it to the end on some decent tyres. I should be in with a shout of getting a top 5 here tonight.
Ethan Winter, last lap, 31.689. He's got that car on wheels, so his best time is the 30.361. So over 20 odd laps on this stint so far, and he's still putting out the same type of lap times he did when he had fresh tyres in the first couple of laps. He's got that thing on wheels. That car is unbelievable. Josh Mickleball with 3.6 second behind him, with Jason Martin 6/10 behind Mickleball. There's a little battle here between Blaine Densley again and Brendan Burkhardt on the outside. Matt Danson just waiting on the outside there. He's looking now for a top 10 finish there in the 30 machine after being a few little setbacks earlier on in the run. But the one to watch, I think, here at the moment is the 5 car of Andy Barber. He's up to 4th. And he looks like he is catching Martin as well. So we could see a pass for position now for the podium very shortly, as
that is moving forwards and taking advantage of the infield section there. Absolutely perfect place to pass. You can use that bit of line, you can use that bit of track. It's not Daytona, it's not Dega, it is Nashville Superspeedway, and that means you can cut it across that line nice as you like it. Maybe even give the grass a little, maybe even give that grass a nice little kiss. But it is so important to get the car back up there, and you can just see the back end of Densley just getting a little bit loose there, and it's just, you've got to be so careful of cutting cutting across the quad oval there, because it unsettles the car. You're going from concrete to asphalt. It's a very different material on the inside as well, and that can really unbalance the car. So you will see a few people cutting across the infield section there, trying to get a little bit of extra pace, but a lot more will be sticking it up high because they don't want to unsettle the car. They don't want to damage their tyres in the long run. We're starting to see some pit stops as well. We've got Trent Gosley in the lane. We've had Sam Smith in the lane as well. So we are seeing a couple of people trying some different stops here. It's all very close to making contact there. This is going to give Danson the opportunity to run down the inside. Can he get this move for position made? He's going to be trying it for sure on Brendan Burkhart. He's going to see what he can do here. Getting the power on nice and early. Sees if he can make that opportunity, but he's also got to defend against Clayton Davis, who is putting Danson under all kinds of pressure.
Now, did the Nitro car, Brendan Burkhart, get loose on exit there as well? Oh, I think he is getting very loose in the 8 machine there of Brendan Burkhart. Danson's just going to try to send it on the inside, try to get past him.
And just listening to the leader has got 3 wide as the 86 of Brian Blundell gets past, and you can see Matt Danson getting down the inside here, trying to get that move done. He just can't get it slid up in front of the number 8 just yet. Sorry, the number 9, I should say. He is really trying to get that move done. Just needs to get that little bit of overlap, get himself up into position a little bit further up the field. Andy Barber and Shane Bowen battling it out, and Shane Bowen moving his way up into 4th position at the moment. So we've got plenty of action on the track at the moment, and it is Matt Danson right now, the one that we will look at, because he is side by side with Brendan Burkhart, still battling it out here, still racing hard with 28 laps to go, and it is very much on here at Nashville. They are definitely racing each other to the full extent here tonight.
Shane Bowen as well, he's up into 4th position now in the 38 car. He's having a great run. He's thinking of the playoffs as well. He wants to get himself into that final 4 as well for Cobalt Racing.
Nigel Clayton Davies, I think, is looking to take it 3 wide if he can. He is sniffing around here, and he is looking just to edge his way through and get himself down that inside line. Will he do it here? He is definitely thinking about it, and he's trying his best. Brendan Burkhart can't quite hold it up anymore. That high line's starting to kick in a little bit. Tyres starting to burn a little bit on that car. He loses the position to Matt Danson. Now he has to try and defend against Clayton Davies.
This isn't going to end well.
I'm watching this one through closed eyes for sure. I do not want to look at this one because I just keep expecting to hear a mighty bang. But they are doing a great job of racing side by side at the moment.
But that's just the caliber of these drivers too. Clayton Davis, he is very experienced in the dirt scene in a sprint car. He is very, very, very good. You got Brendan Burkhart, who's very good on the oval scene, and Matt Danson. Well, I think we don't need to introduce him anymore, especially with his own Wikipedia page as being the Prince of Oval Racing in Australia. As Brendan Burkhart tries to make this move, he's still behind there, but you've got 3 absolute cracking drivers here, and that's why we can have such close, hard racing. And Riley he's as well here as well. He's hoping these guys have a little bit of an accident, and away they go.
We've got Sam Smith having his pit stop. He's working his way through this traffic as well. So got a whole mix of different cars here, and we are seeing plenty of action out on track. And as you said, Riley working his way up. As these guys battle, it's allowing him to get into position where he can work his way up the field. But as you said, Shane Bowen doing a monster job here tonight, up into 4th position. He's going to really hope he can close that 3-second gap to Jason Martin, try and get himself on the podium here tonight. But Bowen, no slouch whatsoever, a very, very quick driver, very good on the ovals, and will definitely be trying his best to get himself up on the podium here tonight as we race here at Nashville Superspeedway. Riley Curtis getting the run down the inside on that number 8, who just seems to be struggling that little bit. Brandon Burkhart just struggling that little bit on the tyres now as this stint goes on. They've done about 45 laps and we've still got 23 laps remaining. Just quickly, I was going to mention, I was just about to mention it before everything kicked off, and that's Ethan Winter. He has been clutching it quite a bit. He's definitely been protecting his fuel levels, and even while doing that, he's still able to build up about a 3-second gap over Josh Micklemore. So that just goes to show the speed and the handling of that 39 as we get the run down the inside here. Matt Danson on Ryan Barber. They get a little bit sideways through the corner. No contact, but they keep themselves racing on here as they cross the quad oval and work their way down towards turn number 1. Ryan Barber just has to ease out of that one. He thought he had a bit more room underneath him. It was not the case. He jumps out of that one, and that's going to allow Sam Smith to unlap himself, get underneath right now. Clayton Davies there putting him under pressure too of Matt Danson. Can we see Clayton Davies in the number 50 here do the slide job, get his way past Matt Danson and move himself up another spot here at Nashville?
Wondering too as well, there was maybe a little bit of team orders there between Riley Curtis and Brendan Burkhart. Both Nitro Racing cars. Riley Curtis is in the playoff picture at the moment. He's up now at 10th, so you wonder sometimes if Brendan just let his teammate through, because the playoff picture at the moment is as we see Clayton Davis, he's going to get the pass done here on Matt Danson. He's back there now up into 7th position as Matt just sits behind him now to get a little bit of draft on there, to get a little bit more speed. But it looks like Andy Barber's going to say, Ryan Barber, sorry, he's going to have something to say about this too, behind Matt Danson at the moment. So we've got 3 playoff drivers there in a row at the moment. It's 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th at the moment. He's sliding around all over the shop like he's in an ice hockey arena, but it's actually on the concrete here at Nashville Superspeedway.
So we just have Jason Holdsworth letting us know that it should be all okay for fuel to the end here. I'm hearing a lot of cars going into clutch mode, so I think there are a few people that just a little bit of fuel anxiety out here tonight, and just wanting to save a little bit of extra gas for the final few laps, not wanting to run it dry, run short just as they get to the end of this race. Riley Curtis absolutely doing some fuel saving. We'll see if Matt Danson is too. He seems to be pushing relatively hard at the moment, and he might be just trying to use up that gas to counteract any lasting damage on the back of that car. We saw him taking a big lick at the start of this race after some connectivity issues, but he's managed to work his way back up through the field, and he's just letting that car run in 4th gear at the moment, not pushing it too hard, not shifting gear. He's just trying to save that little bit of fuel, but he's still pushing on at a decent rate of knots as Matt Danson. But Clayton Davies up ahead is starting to spray to get his legs out and get a bit of a run up ahead as well. So we're seeing a whole mix of different cars. This mid-pack has been fascinating and some great racing here tonight.
And you've also got to remember too, these drivers would want good results tonight as we head to a short track next week at Nashville Fairgrounds. So they would want a good result tonight, just so if things do go wrong on the short track next week at Fairgrounds, they have got a little bit of a points buffer there. As we also looked at, the Nashville Fairgrounds is next week on Tuesday, June the 10th. For 196 laps in our championship races or the Auto Club. Oh, Riley. Is he going to save it?
Oh, he's going to get a penalty for that. But he saves it. And that will be a penalty for Riley Curtis, unfortunately, for unsafe entry to the pit lane. What happened to Riley Curtis there? What caused that to go awry? But he manages to save it from damage, but that is going to be almost race over for the 93. And that is not what we want to see for one of our playoff drivers. So coming out the corner, just gets a little bit of a tap from Ryan Barber up ahead, who himself taps the wall. And that sends Riley Curtis flying down onto the infield. And that that is a big one.
That's got playoff all written all over it. I think that could be Riley's playoffs done now.
Yeah, he's asking for that black flag to be reviewed. So that could be one of the things that saves him tonight, because there is the rule that if you are saving the car and go through the pit lane, you can get the black flag cleared, and it has happened indeed. Riley Curtis is going to stay on the lead lap, but he will have lost a lot of tyre life. He will have lost a lot of speed from that one, and that will have been a painful moment. Another driver that's struggling out there is Dave Douglas. We saw him having that slide, that big snap early on in this stint, and absolutely messing his tyres up, and that has really hurt Dave Douglas in the number 10 and dropped him all the way down to 15th position. He has not had the speed in this race since that moment and early on at that restart.
Well, Ethan Winter, he's out of a 3-second lead now. He's 12 laps to go now. He looks untouchable tonight in that 39 machine. He's going to win his... Well, if he continues on this pace at the moment, he'll take home his second victory in 2 weeks. Josh Mickelmore, he's in second. Jason Martin third. Shane Bowen, an incredible result for him, up into 4th position. Andy Barber, Clayton Davis, Blaine Densley, Matt Danson, and Ryan Barber, and Daniel Boyd, Ethan Winter's teammate in the 79. He's in 10th at the moment.
Yeah, good race for Daniel Boyd up there in the 79, up 4 positions in this race, and definitely showing that they've got some pace underneath that car. And, having some teammates out there helping you out on track, letting you know what's working, what's not working, it all makes a big difference. Even if you are leading by a good 3 seconds, having that little bit more information is crucial in a race like this, and it can just help you out that little bit extra. You don't have to think as hard. As we see Andy Barber just giving that wall a little nibble, and that's going to give Clayton Davis the opportunity to pass underneath him. The 50 gets the run down underneath. Does he slide it up at the last minute? He tries. He's got the gap now as he slides it up in front of Andy Barber and gets the position done.
He's up to 5th now. Started 10th for Clayton Davis in the 50 car. As we got 10 laps to go here at Nashville Superspeedway. Matt Danson, he's having a good run. He's up to 8th. So there's incredible performances tonight, but the one that stands out, the two that stand out the most for me at the moment, is Ethan Winter's dominating performance up front, and the 4th place car, the 38, the Shane Bowen. That's an incredible run there in the Ford Mustang of the Cobalt Racing 38. That's going to be a confidence building result, especially heading into Fairgrounds next week.
Absolutely, but right now we've got a great battle going on for 6th, 7th and 8th. You can see there Matt Danson really pushing on, trying to get his way up there too. Blaine Densley getting down the inside of Andy Barber. Andy Barber just struggling a little bit now. The tyres just dropping off a little bit. Back end steps out as he gets onto the straight. Manages to keep it pointing in the right direction. Good driving there from Andy Barber. Not a surprise from any of us that he managed to keep that car pointing in the right direction. He is a very good driver on the wheel. But it's cost him momentum, and that's going to give Blaine Densley the chance to slide up in front of him. He hits the wall. That was a bit too harsh there, Blaine. You do not want to do that, and that's given Matt Danson the opportunity now.
Whoa, well, I thought that was Andy into the wall. He was going around, but they say, but this is some incredible driving here by Matt Danson, Blaine Densley, and Andy Barber here at the moment for this battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. But Blaine Densley's not going to let Matt Danson through very easily. I tell you that right now.
He's doing a great job defending. He's managed to keep that car in the right position every time and just not letting Danson get down the inside. That's what he's got to do. He's got to keep that car planted nice and low. Not let Danson have a sniff of an opportunity, because that's all it takes is one little snifter, and he will work his way up there and start nibbling away and get his car in a position where he will try and get past. And that's what he's trying to do right now. Densley left that door open that tiny little bit. And you can see there, Danson took full advantage of that.
As we looked back up the front, Ethan Winter and Josh Micklemore, not much has changed up there at the moment. 3.2 seconds the lead now, but the pace of this 39 car, he had a little bit of an incident with Matt Danson that cost him the victory at New Hampshire, and then last week he won. Can't even remember where it was last week where he won. He won last week, and now he's going to win again tonight if this stays on the pace it is at the moment. If we don't get any yellow flags or anything like that, he's got a nice, comfortable lead.
I'm trying to think now myself. I think it was Charlotte, wasn't it?
It was Charlotte, that's the one. Folks at home, I'll be better prepared for next week.
Relying on my memory there, that's not a good thing to need to rely on, but it seems to have worked tonight. We've got Mick Campbell there making a run on Brennan Burkhart, and Mick Campbell's had a really solid run here tonight. He's up inside the top 15 at the moment, and he's about to make it inside the top 11. Can he move his way up into the top 10 in the 619 car and get himself in for a solid top 10 finish? He's got the opportunity to do that. He's got Daniel Boyd and Ryan Barber in front of him too, so could find himself in a decent position. But with 2 laps remaining, Jason Martin's putting pressure on Josh Micklemore, who's struggling, who I reckon might be out of fuel there, because Josh Micklemore has just dropped off completely. Was that car coughing and spluttering? He has really run out of power, and now we've got Trent Gosley just behind, and he's a lap down at the moment. But Josh Micklemore there, really running low on fuel, I'd say. And we are coming up to the white flag, and it's going to be Ethan Winter to take that white flag in the 39. A brilliant drive here tonight for Ethan Winter once again. I said he was doing a bit of fuel saving, he was doing a bit of clutching, and I think maybe the fuel was not as cut and dry as we thought. It was a little bit shy, and I think Josh Micklemore might have been caught out by that one. But the white flag is out. The 39 comes around for one more tour of this famous Nashville Superspeedway here on the concrete jungle itself. On to the back straight goes the 39, the Vortex Racing Conti Sim Performance Setup Shop Team car. And Ethan Winter brings it into the final corner here for the X-Series playoffs. He is going to take the second win of the playoff Season 2 part here and secures another victory for Ethan Winter. A great drive from him. Jason Martin's going to bring it home in second place. And then it's going to be Clayton Davies, I believe, for third position. I'm just waiting for everything to work its way out as we try and figure out exactly what's happened there. I think it's Shane Bowen that manages to get it home in third, as I'm just hoping my timing screen is messing up there. But it is Ethan Winter taking victory here tonight with Jason Martin, Shane Bowen, Josh Micklemore and Clayton Davies in fifth position.
That's a statement victory for Ethan Winter tonight. They led every lap. He led every lap.
Absolutely. Pretty much perfect race for Ethan Winter. Taking pole, taking the victory here. It is the is it the Grand Slam? It is indeed, because he took the fastest lap as well. It is a full tick box approved Ethan Winter victory here at Nashville Superspeedway. A amazing job for him for that. So let's run through the finishing order for tonight's race. And it was Ethan Winter, as we said, for Vortex Simsports, taking victory here ahead of Jason Martin, who comes home in second. Shane Bowen in the playoff chase at the moment. He brings it home third, getting a podium here tonight. That is great stuff from Shane. Josh Micklemore, running out of fuel, we think, at the end there, comes home in fourth. Good damage limitations for him, and it's Clayton Davies in fifth. Blaine Densley comes home in sixth, with Matt Danson in seventh, Andy Barber and Ryan Barber in eighth and ninth, and Michael Campbell brings it home inside the top 10.
As we go further in the field, in 11th, the Vortex Simsport car of Daniel Boyd, Brendan Burkhardt. Phase the chassis works. Car coming home in 12th, Bailey Lesson in a great result there for Vortex as well. In the 13th position, Riley Curtis unfortunately had a little bit of a trip down the grass and had a down pit road there. Finishes in 14th. Dave Douglas finished one lap down in 15th. Trent Gosley in 16th. Sam Smith was one lap down in 17th. Dane Santiago, after having a spin earlier on in the race, he brings it back into 18th. Shane Nowens finished homes in 19th with multiple lap cars down. A blind Blundell, Tom Pritchard, Josh Hodgson, and our race controller Jason Holdsworth finishes in last place.
Great stuff tonight and some great action. We're going to head to a quick ad break and we'll be back with you very shortly to interview our top 3 finishers here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here with our top 3 here tonight. And we're going to start off with the Cobalt Racing entry. Is Shane Bowen coming home in 3rd position. Shane, welcome to the booth, mate. Congratulations on a very solid P3 here tonight at Nashville.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. Kind of unexpected. Didn't expect Josh to run out of fuel there, but hey, it worked for me.
Well, absolutely. We saw him coughing and spluttering, and you worked your way up through the field nicely as well, up 10 positions from the start.
Yeah, I kind of botched qualifying, so I don't know how fast I could have qualified, but it was probably about right where I started anyway. But I just think a lot of people saved a lot more fuel in that last stint compared to me, and yeah, I just sort of pulled a gap and managed to keep it.
So how much fuel did you have when you got to the line?
I still had about half a lap, really.
Oh, too much fuel then. You should have pushed harder. Yeah. God,
Plenty.
Not good enough.
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I'll try harder next time.
No, that's what we like to hear. But a really solid result from you. We saw you sort of working your way through the field, as you said. So obviously, just a lot of people having to save a little bit more, and you sort of managed to keep the speed up while keeping the fuel in the car as well, which is a crucial skill to have.
Yeah, I don't think I had to save too much throughout that stint. I was lifting a bit early, but it just felt like a lot of other people were being overly cautious and giving themselves a bit more fuel than what they probably needed.
No, well, we saw that one work to perfection. Congratulations on 3rd place here tonight. And, well, there's some good playoff points for yourself. And, I mean, obviously, a win would be nicer, but we're heading to Nashville Fairgrounds next time out. How are you feeling for the short track?
I think I've only raced that place once before, maybe in this league. I'm not sure, but
I don't think we've been there before, have we?
I feel like we have. but I'm not sure. But yeah, the playoff points are good. I've had a few disaster runs lately, so third place is really good. Hopefully, it keeps me in it for a bit longer.
We look forward to seeing you hopefully back in the booth at the Fairgrounds. Congratulations, Shane. Before I let you go, love and shout out to sponsors, people. You've earned your place here on your podium. Go for it, mate.
Yeah, just thank you guys putting on the show. Thanks everyone for showing up and racing tonight. And I suppose I could shout out my new sponsor on my car, the Riverina Wholesale Bakery, showing the love on the bonnet. So thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Shane Bowen there for Cobalt. Next, I'm going to head over to Mr. Nige. He'll be talking to Jason Martin.
Jason Martin, congratulations on your second place car tonight. Now, I do have to set the record straight to everybody listening out on home. I did call him a South Australian, but from what I hear, he's a proud Western Australian and loves his Fremantle Football Club. So I do apologise about that, Josh. Jason, man, I'm losing the plot. Tell us a bit about your night.
Oh, you're going so well making up for it, then you call me Josh.
I know.
Yeah, definitely from WA and love the Freo Dockers.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about your night. How did it all plan out?
Oh yeah, the setup was a bit tight, and then because it was so tight on entry, it was loose on exit. So yeah, it wasn't that great to drive, but yeah, it was okay and got the job done. But yeah, that last 65 odd laps, I just had to coast the whole way and save fuel because there was no way I could make it without saving fuel. So I had to save fuel for that whole time.
And how much did you have left at the end?
0.1 as I crossed the line.
Well, we saw Josh run out with, I think it was half a lap to go or a lap to go. We weren't too sure how yourself was situated, but you got to second place at the end. Did you know it was going to be tight when you went down pit road when that yellow came out?
Yeah, I sure did. That's why at the start the other guys pulled away from me and I was just trying to maintain my position and save as much as I could because I knew I'd have to save for that whole entire stint.
Well, no, you've certainly done a great job to bring it home in second tonight. Congratulations once again. Shout out to all of your sponsors, friends, family, whoever you want to have a shout out to.
Thanks to iRacing for the half-decent setup. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast and well done, Ethan, for kicking everyone's ass.
No, he's certainly done a great job tonight, Ethan, and so did yourself. You know, you bring it home in second with 0.001 of a litres of fuel left in your car to bring it home in second. So congratulations once again. Proud Western Australian who likes Fremantle. I will always remember that now. I'll never forget that now. So yeah. Hopefully we see you next week at Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers, mate.
Now it's time for our winner. Carl, do you want to take it away?
Absolutely. And finally, last but not least, it is Ethan Winter. Ethan, congratulations. Welcome back to, well, your chair, basically. You've been owning this chair for the past couple of weeks. Well done on the victory here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, thank you. That was a bit of an interesting race. Mightn't have seemed so, but, certainly with that caution there, kind of in the fuel window, you certainly had to save a little bit. In my case, at least a little bit on that last stint. But after that first stint, I kind of realised I completely blew my tyres off. So it's taking it a bit easier on that second stint. Just tried to pull a lead on Josh and Jason and put a little bit of pressure on them to see how they respond with their fuel saving, and kind of stayed even for the most part, to be fair. So yeah, just impressed with that one again. I didn't feel that great. I was pretty loose off exits, trying to manage that for sure, and just got it done.
But we saw it got a bit loose, especially as the caution flag came out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, honestly. Just might have lost concentration and thinking about other things, and what was about to happen. So that was under control. That was all fine. Probably looked pretty entertaining.
He just wanted to give the grass a little bit of a mow.
Yeah.
No, look, a great job out there tonight. I sort of heard you saving a little bit through your stint as well. Just just dipping the clutch in on, I think it was turn 3, for a few laps there, just sort of keeping your fuel in the window as well. It sounded like you had the fuel sort of pretty much spot on as well.
Yeah, I was just engaging the clutch on entry, just a fraction a couple of times. I didn't really need to be saving mega fuel. Honestly, I was in a good position. Even when it went green, I knew I'd be pretty much okay. Less than a lap I'd have to save. So, it just made my job even easier by the sounds of it, with the Jason saving quite a bit, and Josh running out at the end.
Absolutely, time to perfection, and you had enough for a little bit of a burnout as well, which is what we like to see.
Yeah, I think that's 2 weeks in a row now. I haven't had enough to do a burnout completely, so hopefully next time I win, I can do a proper one.
Exactly. Well, I expect it. That's it. You've either got to save more fuel, or you've got to get some more fuel into the end. Congratulations, Ethan. Another victory in the playoffs as well. You have led every lap here tonight, it looks like, as well as getting the fastest lap. So pole position, fastest lap, and all the laps led too. So fantastic job here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. We're off to Nashville Fairgrounds next time out. How are you feeling heading into the short track?
Never ran a lap there, so that'll be certainly some practice this week. Won't have to. I'm probably more focused on Auto Club, to be fair, but I just want to keep the momentum going into the final. Obviously, there's going to be 3 others I'm going to be racing against at Auto Club, and no one's as such in its final 8, so we'll have to be on my game to win the championship, that's for sure.
Well, best of luck heading into the fairgrounds. Before I let you go, though, love shout out to the sponsors, to the team, to your supporters. You've absolutely earned your place to shout them out here tonight.
Thanks to yourself, Nigel, Dean, Jason, for giving up racing to just sit in the booth and manage things. Thanks to Mannington Toyota, Canningvale Toyota, Graham Electrical and Data, Soul Deep Massage Clinic, KZS Auto Works, Team Conti Sim Performance, Styled Imagery, Casey Simon Cinematography, and thanks to Nitro Racing for sponsoring the series.
Thank you so much, Ethan Winter there, taking victory here tonight. Can he get another one at Nashville Fairgrounds? And we will hope to see him back in the box very, very soon. Nige.
Well, we do have the playoff picture for next week already out at the moment. If Dean could probably pull it up for everyone at home on the no, there's round 2 in the broadcast booth chat there. You'll probably see it in there. Well, I can read it out anyway, that Ethan's already advanced. He's through to the next round. We've got Matt Danson, he's on 87 points, and Josh Mickelmore, 72. Dave Douglas is in 4th where the cutoff line is. He's on 66. Then below the cutoff line, we've got Shane Bowen on 58, Riley Curtis on 54, Ryan Barber on 54, and Stevie Williams, who was not here tonight, he will have to win to advance to the final 4. So this can still be anyone's playoff yet. Anyone can still make it if Dave, Josh, and Matt Danson have bad nights. We could still see a completely different top 3 in there at the moment, but Ethan Winter is already through. So that's the playoff picture at the moment.
Absolutely, and it's going to be exciting stuff. We hope to see you here next week for Nashville Fairgrounds. Of course, join us on the YouTube and the Facebook channel as well for the trucks coming up on Thursday night, and then we're back with the ANC on Sunday night. But for tonight, we will be wishing you all a very good night. From myself, Mr. Carl Wilkinson, with you, of course, Mr. Nigel Siddell, and Dean Biggles Hopton doing all the hard work in the background. We wish you a very good night indeed, and we'll see you back here next week.